we want to welcome you, those of you who just watched Marquette and Georgetown. We're in Arena Auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming for this Mountain West showdown between Wyoming and New Mexico. Fran Charles and Katie Wingy with you here courtside. And we're off to a bit of a slow start. Katie, which is what Wyoming wants.
Well, that was an aggressive drive from Nesbitt in there, right around his defender, and now New Mexico the other way. Looking to be aggressive against a Wyoming defense, filling in all the gaps.
And Mustafa Amsil is tapped by A.J. Wills. And so just to set the scene for you, New Mexico, obviously one of the great scoring teams in all of basketball. And meanwhile, for Wyoming, they want to slow it down. And Coach Wicks told us, hey, if we can get a game in the 60s, I'm very happy. 1 by 2, I'm good with that.
Yeah, the styles of play between these two teams are basically opposites. Wyoming looking to grind it out, really make teams work, use all of their possessions, all their shot clock time, and then New Mexico, they want to play fast. They want to score a lot of points. And
Mustafa Amsil with a pretty fadeaway. And Nesbitt, he's got 6 double-doubles on the year. Transfer from Hampton. And he comes down with a rebound. Vorbeachinen kicks it away. All right, so the other big story for the Cowboys, their leading scorer, Obi Agbim. We weren't sure if he was going to start or play tonight. He's got an ankle injury, and he kind of deked us. I mean, they said it was a game-time decision. And literally, we asked him right before the game, are you playing? He says, don't know yet.
Well, let me tell you guys, too, just how much of a game-time decision it was. He went through every warm-up.
Right.
Every warm-up, he's typically in the starting lineup for the Cowboys. Didn't know until they went back into the locker room, came back out, that he wouldn't be starting. From what we know, he is available to play if they so choose to use him, but it has been a question mark if he feels 100% and ready to go.
Toko Tynamo, the all-name team, came in with a bucket. Vorbeachinen can't get it to go. This is Dante Allen who's checked into the game. A senior from Falmouth, Kentucky. Tynamo working on one of the stars of the Lobos, Joseph. Little baby hook.
It's good disciplined defense right there from Joseph. Not leaning in, not fouling, just holding his ground and being physical against Tynamo.
Donovan Dent, only player in the country who averages 19 or more points and 7 or more assists. Only player in the country. Big time scorer for Richard Pitino's club. A 4-2 game, 5 minutes through. And Sundance has to be thrilled.
Thrilled.
Newton from long range. Knocks it down. So Cody Newton making his 14th start of the year. He's going to the guys who's going to have to pick it up if Obi Agbin at least can't play to his full capabilities. Wyoming on a 7-0 run here. Amsil up top. That's off the mark. Nesbitt, his second board.
Wyoming shooting the 3 ball really well, too. So if they can get clean looks from deep in their last game against Air Force, which they won, they were 9 of 13 from 3, 69%.
New Mexico opening up 1 for 10 from the field. So ice cold. And Richard Pitino told us we play against these teams that slow things down. We got to make sure we come in and we're mature. We're mature enough ball club to handle it. Nice dish underneath, but it doesn't go. Good defense from Amsil. And so we are underway. For those of you watching our free streaming coverage, it will conclude after the commercial break, but we will continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to cbssportsnetwork.com/channel finder.
And then, you know, how else can you ride the momentum of a game like that? It was emotionally draining, according to Pitino, too.
Yeah, Richard Pitino has done a nice job. His team on that 5-game winning streak. Look at that, they're averaging over 92 points per game. Pitino in his 4th year, the 42-year-old at New Mexico. And of course, the winner of the Mountain West a year ago, won the tournament, finished 26-10.
What's interesting about those numbers, too, is not only is the offense so good, the 92 points per game, but they're also holding teams very well under their point total, around 75 points per game. Yes, that's a high total, but considering what they're scoring, Pitino was talking about how much he likes the improvement on the defensive side of things as well.
And meanwhile, for Wyoming, this is going according to plan. Dante Allen, he can shoot the 3 ball, rips the nets. And so Wyoming on a 10-0 run here at the 13:40 mark of the first half. C.J. Nolan checks into the game. Omsil on the low block. And Wyoming still cold, and that's Omsil over the back. All right, Katie, give me your keys to the game.
All right, we'll start with New Mexico. They need to get out and run. Right now, the pace is absolutely in favor of Wyoming. Low scoring so far defensively. No easy threes. Wyoming, great three-point shooting team. And then on the other side for the Cowboys, make it a dogfight. You really want this to be a grinded-out tight game, and you really want to limit Dent's drives. He is so effective when he gets into the paint. Elite in ball screen situations. He makes every one of his teammates around him better. So those are the keys for both teams, offensively and defensively.
Dynamo. He just caught a piece of the rim there, but off the mark. Meanwhile, Sundance Witch did a great job at Green Bay. 18 and 14 in his 1 year, but he's from Wyoming, and he got the call. He thought he was happy at Wyoming. Green Bay just signed an extension, thought he was good to go. But when they call you to come back home, he said it was just too irresistible. He said it's one job that he would have been allowed to take.
The one opportunity that he would have considered leaving Green Bay for, because he talked about how close he was with those players in that locker room, and he was proud of what they were building in Green Bay. And now he's trying to do a similar thing in Wyoming, where he's establishing a culture and getting his players to buy into his system.
And Donovan Dent gets his first bucket of the night, a free throw. And Dent, what more can you say? This guy's a superstar. Preseason All-Mountain West, leads him with over 19 points a game, 7 assists. That's tops, obviously, in the Mountain West. And again, only player in the country averaged 19 or more points and 7 more assists. Good ball movement here from the Cowboys. Tynamo. Oh, nice look. Abu Magasa. The left hand.
Heads-up awareness by Tynamo to see that double team coming, and no hesitation making that pass to his teammate underneath.
Dent trying to create. And he finds Milicevic. Jovan in the game. That can't go, but Joseph gets it back. In the corner, Milicevic. Wow, Lobos can't buy a bucket. 12-4. Coming up on the 12-minute mark, and again, we're at 7,220 feet. That's the other thing. And Richard Pitino said, with the elevation, you feel like you're walking in quicksand. And Joseph with the block.
Yeah, for a team that wants to play with the pace that New Mexico wants to play with, I mean, they're 6th in pace in the country. You hit altitude, and it's like you're running in mud a little bit. It takes you a second to catch your second wind here.
Atiki Aliatiki checks in, and he gives Joseph a break. They're 1 for 13, and 0 for 5 the Lobos are from the three-point strike. Allen over to Magasa, good quick hands by C.J. Nolan, smack it out of bounds. So from a pace of play perspective, this is exactly what Wyoming hopes to dial up.
Little discrepancy.
Yeah.
Little difference. We talked about it being literally polar opposites. I mean, nothing says it like those numbers do right there.
And Sundance yesterday was saying he hopes that number, he could get it all the way down to about 360 instead of 311. Allen misses the 3. An 8-point Cowboys lead. Milicevic thought about it. Good defense here. And that's Braden Applehans. And we got a 3-second call. Abu Magasa, Katie.
Yeah, we'll go back to this Magasa bucket from Tynamo. The double team comes over. Magasa relocates, makes himself available underneath, and is rewarded with an
69% in their last victory against the Airport. Three-point line.
Yeah, in the last 5 games, they've really turned it on. We were talking with Coach Wicks before this game, and he was a little bit surprised the way that this team has been shooting the ball lately, but he did mention water always finds its level. So they've been working through finding the proper sets, getting his players the right shots, the right opportunities, and you can see it. It's paying off, shooting 47% from 3 the last 5 games. They're confident, they're looking for each other, and they're stepping in knowing that it's likely going to go in.
A little pressure now from the Lobos, trying to see if they can right their wrongs. Scored just 4 points the last 6 minutes, and they're 0 for 8. from a field goal perspective.
With what the Lobos want to do, too, they have forced 0 turnovers and they have 0 fast break points scored so far in this game. That's just not their style of basketball.
And the shot clock down to 8. Nesbitt takes control on Applehides, and Nesbitt misses the rim. Yeah, didn't hit the rim, so shot clock violation coming the other way. Officials tonight, by the way, Thomas Nunez, Scott Brown, and Bill App. And Nesbitt, 6 double-doubles on the year. Coach Wiggs telling us, if I had to pick one player who was kind of our dog, it would be Jordan. Dent leaves it up to Akili. He can't get it to go. So Tiki Ali Atiki underneath. How about this move? That's Cole Henry with the left hand.
Very different approaches, too, and the attack mentality from these two teams. Henry, no hesitation, bracing for that contact, finishing through it. And then Atiki on the other end, he shied away from it. Look at the way that Henry attacks the contact, attacks the help side coming over here. It does not deter him from finishing that shot.
Bit of a nightmare if you're Richard Pitino, and obviously it was a ton of time. But you come off a huge emotional victory, kind of set yourself up potentially for at least a beginning like this.
Well, and naturally, even a couple days later, the emotions from that there's a hangover in that situation. And so maybe it takes a second for New Mexico to get their rhythm back again.
Henry on Joseph, and he loses it through Washington. Up ahead, we're reaching in.
And that's how the Lobos get back in this game. Forcing turnovers, getting out, running in transition. Just a great dig right there. Good hands, and then getting off and running in transition.
Now this number will certainly come up, but it's eye-opening. New Mexico shooting just 7% from the floor. We're reaching in, trying to change that. What a rebound by Magassa. Cowboys trying to push to their biggest lead of the night and get it to 12. Drew Washington trying to break it up.
New Mexico trying to inject some physicality and pressure into this game defensively.
Shot clock at 10. Allen behind the back, in the paint. Drag is hit there a little bit, but no call. And gets the bucket.
That was an impressive downshift from Allen. Change of speed, change of direction in there. Got New Mexico's defense on their toes.
Yeah, they let them play a little bit more. How about Donovan Dent? Strong move to the glass, and it goes down. He was looking for the and one. Dent can heat up in a minute. His season high 41 against VCU. Oh, nice spin move from Allen. And it doesn't draw the foul. And here come the Lobos.
They're really letting them play in this game. Both sides, both sides.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Dent trying to wake his teammates up. Plays with great patience. Joseph with the board. This guy's got 50 double-doubles in his career. Melly Jr. Joseph. 4th most among active players. And Newton wants to recalibrate. That's Belich. Off the mark. And we're going the other way.
You mentioned Joseph earlier. He has such a good feel around the basket. He hasn't been able to finish much, but he's constantly in a battle for rebounds. He's down low, rolling to the basket, trying to create different scenarios for Dent. And you can see it. It's paying off. 7 double-doubles. You've mentioned it.
Yeah, 50 on the year. It's funny. The shooter out today, Richard Pitino, was telling him wanted to be a little bit more aggressive from the defense, man. He goes, like, you're trying to attack the quarterback, and he's from Nigeria, so he said, all right, you don't know football, but maybe soccer. Attack the goalie. In the corner for Borovicevic, and he knocks it down.
You can tell Borovicevic down, ready to shoot, just waiting to have time to get that shot off. Feels like he's got the green light from deep.
And Newton trying to create. Shot clock down to 6. And Belic says, why not? Why not me? Matija Belic. He only shoots 28% from three-point land, but it was good enough there. Amsiel thought about it. Borovichinen into Joseph. Strong off the glass, won't go. There is a lid on the bucket for the Lobos. 7:20 left and 9 points. Now Cade Dotson, and the freshman from Beaumont, Texas, with the rebound. Amsiel to big steps. So here we go. Amsiel in the corner, and Borovichinen knocks down the 3. But then Belic says, anything you can do. And Wyoming with a surprising 10-point lead. Patino's club, how about this? 9 points. Borovichinen has 5, Dent 4. That's it. And I mean, we had just over 7 minutes left in the first half. And he's very calm. Seems very calm.
3 of 20. They've scored in 2 of their last 15 field goal attempts, and they're getting pretty decent looks.
Yep.
It just feels like Wyoming is dictating the tempo, the pace, the style. It's slower than what New Mexico wants to be playing.
And Newton, guarded by Dotson. Belic leaves it for Nesbitt, a transfer from Hampton. Skip pass, shot clock down to 2. Newton's got to let it go. And here come the Lobos. This is their game. Amsiel. Oh, but he throws it away. He's looking for Washington in the corner. And now Jovan Milicevic will check in.
Because New Mexico hasn't had a lot of opportunities to run so far in this game, you really have to cherish those possessions. When you get out, you have a numbers advantage. Be smart, be conscious of your decision making in those scenarios. You can't throw away the extra possessions that they cherish so much.
Yeah, great point. And Wick said, you know, we want people to come here. As Belic throws it away, Applehans puts it up to Milicevic. Spinning! Oh, but it's blocked by Belgium! And he's called for the foul. Belic thought he had all ball. Look at his face. Wicks, of course, not happy as well.
Let's take a peek.
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, he's got a right to be upset. I was going to say, too, whenever there's a foul called on what looks like a clean block, I always look at the offhand. And the offhand was even not on. There was no contact there to call the foul there.
All right, so the freshman from Toronto, Ontario, Jovan Milicevic, has already this year been a Mountain West Freshman of the Week. Another look. Scored a career-high 21 points earlier this year against Western New Mexico. They've had 6 players score 20 or more points and lead them throughout the year, the Lobos have, but they need the offense tonight. It's a 9-point game with 6 left in the first half. Nesbitt, the jump step. Nesbitt tries to shake Dotson and just falls down. That's the one thing that Wick said. It's not necessarily pretty with Jordan, but I'll take it. Milicevic. And another miss from 3.
New Mexico trying to inject some energy into this game by getting stops defensively, getting opportunities to push the pace a little bit more and get their shots off.
And this is amazing. And by far, this is their lowest output offensively. Great steal by Dotson. Picks Nesbitt's pocket. And in the right. Oh, it's blocked by Tynamo. But the Lobos retain C.J. Nolan with the spin move down the block. A lot of work, some contact, no foul. So the refs letting the physicality go.
Knowing the way this game is being called, as a player, you need to adjust. You need to understand that you might not get whistles that you typically get. So how are you going to attack? How are you going to look for your shots in different ways?
And Newton trying to shake free. Dynamo to Nesbitt. So the offense right now clearly running through Jordan Nesbitt. Shot clock down to 4. Newton's going to let it fly. Saucy from Kobe Newton. He gives a wink over to us here at the desk. This kid's feeling it.
Impressive.
It's a 12-point lead, biggest of the night, but Den says...
the answer.
Pipe down, guys, pipe down. And Wicks wants a timeout. And now the Lobos trying to heat up. But Wyoming's game here, up by 9 in the first half.
We don't have just the right angle, but he did. Right. We promise you he did. Really impressive by Newton, just being down, ready to shoot, recognizing his defender was a step late, didn't even need to use the screen, and saw shot clock winding down. This is the best look we're going to get in this scenario. And just a gutsy make.
And it goes to show you, too, the Mountain West is one of the deep conferences in all of college basketball. You know, look, they're doing this without their star, Obi Agbin, who scores over 18 points a game. And, you know, they're making a game of it. I mean, they're in control early on. It could change, but you got to play the games. You never know what could happen unless you get out on the court. Allen does a great job of drawing the foul and knowing.
Part of that, too, to your point, Fran, I think is what Coach Wicks was talking to us about earlier, about getting players to believe in something they may not see right away, about getting players to buy in. And when your best player,
under review for
Obi
a 2
Agbin,
versus 3-point shot.
All right, so they're going to take a look to see if Allen was behind the 3-point line. Whatever it was a good job by Dante. His foot's on the line, so it should be a 2.
I think that could have potentially been a travel first.
Yeah, a little feet shuffling there as well. But again, they're letting it go. And Wicks.
Hey, 2-point shot, 2 free throws.
So there we go. A couple of free throws for Dante Allen. Wicks, you know, he got hired late, and so he had to basically do a mad dash to kind of round out his roster. Grabbed a couple of players from Green Bay as well, where he came from, but he recruited 10 players in 26 days. And so when you kind of recalibrate your team, they were picked to finish 9th preseason poll. But again, it's a brand new team. So until you get out there and you play, you're not quite sure what you have or how it's going to work out. He's been happy with the way that they've blended so far.
It helps, too, when you have situations like this where you tell your guys, trust the game plan. Go out and trust the game plan and buy into what we're doing. And then you're competing like this, where you're up by 10 points late in the first half.
Allen spent a couple of years at Kentucky with John Calipari before transferring to Western Kentucky, and now here he is at Wyoming. It's a 10-point lead for the Cowboys with 4 left. Washington trying to juke Allen, steps back. Misses everything except the bottom of the net, so wow. This time, Katie, I think we got it.
We're gonna make sure that everybody knows that we weren't lying. Newton, big time shot, gets into a little bit. Shows us a little bit of love.
You know, auditorium in Laramie, Wyoming. Cowboys up 10 here. Coming up on AT&T in the half. Brett Stover, Wally Zerbiak, Chris Walker, and Gary Parrish are standing by in our New York studio. They'll get you up to speed on all the night's college basketball action. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. And a look at the Mountain West top performers. And we're seeing a couple of them tonight. We haven't seen Obi Agbin, but we have seen Donovan Dent. Look at Utah State, 14-1. They were picked 6th in the preseason poll. Falsliff, he's been a big part of what they do.
I mean, those are some big-time numbers that these players are putting up. And I wish that Obi Agbin was playing, just because he's such a fun player to watch. And I think that he provides such a different dynamic. But again, one of the things that Coach Wicks was telling us about was when Batman isn't in the game, all the Robins, they flow, they work together. And so far, they've been cruising for Wyoming.
Yeah, Newton having fun, cool as a customer. And Henry on the baseline working against Joseph. Henry goes strong to the rack by Joseph and gets the foul. And Joseph can't believe it.
That look is a product of Wyoming cutting hard and giving themselves up in order to create open opportunities. Good little brush screen right there. And Joseph is late recovering. Henry handles the contact, goes right up and around. Beautiful, avoiding the defense.
And Magassa gets the rebound. Henry, the transfer from Northern Iowa, from Oskaloosa, Iowa. 6'9" forward, playing a role. 12-point backdoor pass to Gossard with the two-handed flush. So far, all Wyoming. New Mexico's only lead of the game, 2-0. Dent trying to create, and he draws a foul. Just great passing here from the Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll go back to the other side. You need a decent screen there to get yourself to roll. But if you're anticipating New Mexico switching, which Allen was right there, he knew his teammate was going to be open underneath. Puts the bow on top of the little gift.
And Dent scored in double figures in every game this season. Came into tonight 28 points shy of 1,000 for his career. And he's picked up the slack. You know, New Mexico lost 3 big names: J.T. Toppin, Jalen House, and Jamal Mashburn Jr. And Richard Pitino says, I thought our non-conference schedule was pretty tough, and I wasn't sure if I made a mistake. But he said it's paying off right now with what I've seen for our club. They've been pretty mature, and it's paying dividends. 12-3. Let's see if they can get back in this game down 12. Got a lot of clock left. The entire second half. Henry working on Joseph. Deuce is wild. Newton and Dent. And Nesbitt. The shot clock now at 5. Pulls back. And that's short. Borovichinen with the rebound. Strong move. And it goes. So no foul there. Newton wanted the charge, but he's got to have that place down before Borovichinen takes off. So good no call.
Borovichinen did a good job of avoiding that contact too, of changing his direction in the air.
Allen to Henry looking for some help. How about Newton again? He's hit 5 twice.
Newton was 4 of 5 from the three-point line in that win against Air Force in their last game.
And we're going the other way. And Armseal has called for a little too much body, but back to Newton, who's red hot.
Don't give him that much space. Otherwise, he's going to knock it down. Again, this is continuing from the last game. Great rip through, catches the defense. Going one direction, changes it, uses his teammate in a strategic, phenomenal way to get him that shot.
Wyoming 6-1 at home this year, and every victory they've had, they've been leading at the half. So, again, all good signs, but again, plenty of hoops left to play. Allen making a nice move on the baseline, throws it up wild. And it's True Washington who wants it more, working on Newton. He's going hard, and Newton's called for the foul, and Washington wants to go to the line.
Well, he was saying goaltend too, and I think that shot was still going up. Washington taking Newton one-on-one, bracing for that contact, and he was saying that count that, but no.
And Newton pleading his case, but to no avail. So True Washington, the 6'4" sophomore, and from Phoenix, Arizona, one of the better defenders on this Lobos team. Tied for first in steals with 25. And you see him already with some great hands as Armstead is going to get a blow. Milicevic is going to come back in. But they got to find some scoring somewhere. Just 18 points so far in the first half, as that's off the mark. And Washington thought maybe he was going to get another steal, and so Sundance, which his team playing exactly how he would like. Just 5 fouls here for New Mexico. So they still got a couple of fouls to give. All right, $1:20 left here in the first half. And it's been a shocker. Joseph Jr. almost comes up with the steal.
New Mexico applying some pressure here to try and go on a little run with 1:20 remaining. getting Wyoming flustered in the full court press.
All right, quick timeout, about 30 seconds. We'll be back on the other side here. And Wyoming up 12.
Taking care of the basketball in the way that they have, it's really limited New Mexico's opportunities, but credit Wyoming's defense as well. They've been in the gaps, they've had good discipline, they've been able to defend without fouling for most of the first half.
And Sundance says, you know, Wyoming hoops is a combination of analytics and manalytics. Oh, great look inside! And Magassa with his second dunk of the game.
Magassa is moving with such intention on offense for Wyoming, and it's paying dividends so far.
Yeah, they're big into the analytics, but also he says you can't teach heart. So they're looking at trying to bring players in here who are smart and aggressive. And another look.
And sometimes it's just doing things with all-out effort. Magassa sets that screen and then immediately rolls. You make that pass to the corner to create a better passing angle for the roll man right there. Easy buckets for Wyoming.
And Agassa from France, a freshman. He was at SLU's program a year ago. He transferred to St. Louis University. Meanwhile, there's junior Joseph, missed a free throw. So nothing going right. The 14-point lead, biggest of the night for the Cowboys. And Nesbitt down to Henry. Working on Olavichinen. Nesbitt falls away. Olavichinen with the rebound.
Those falling away shots are so tough. All your momentum is moving away from the basket. You really got to make sure you get your legs underneath.
It's about a half-second differential here in the shot clock and the game clock. And so Dent is going to play for one shot here and see if he can pull the Lobos to within 12. Taking it himself. And that was pretty, and doesn't go. That describes the entire half. Newton lets it fly. Oh, off the front end. And if that would have gone down, this place would have.
Their identity is scoring points off of turning Wyoming over. Their defense has got to get more active. They've got to get out and run.
All right, 5 baskets, only 1 assist. And right away, Henry's called for a foul.
That was a very physical first half.
Yeah, it was.
As well.
Yeah.
They let them play quite a bit, the officials did. So how will this half be officiated, and how are you going to react with that in mind?
Well, what's the mindset? I mean, were you ever down, this many or to a team you thought you should beat?
Nothing to lose.
And True Washington right away rips a 3. And so just like that, check that, it's a deuce. So the lead down to 12. And that's more along the lines of what New Mexico was looking for.
And to your point, too, New Mexico did not shoot the ball well in the first half. 18.5%. They know they can be better.
All right, nice move down. How about Henry? Sneaky with that left hand, but doesn't get it to roll. And Washington out looking to run. Armstead down inside to junior Joseph. Good defense by Henry, and Washington to Joseph. Joseph loses the handle. And here come the Cowboys. So they've been doing great. So Joseph is yet to score. Nesbitt skip past A.J. Wills.
Wow.
What a rebound by Belich, but he gave it up. Dead coast to coast, and that is just smooth.
The ability to take off from that far out in the paint without hesitation, just relentless pursuit in a fast break situation.
I wonder what the conversation was like at halftime as New Mexico's come out, and they look a little bit different here in the second half.
I would imagine it was set the tone. Be the dictators out there. They believe that they are the better team. Go out and prove it.
Wills to Henry, and it's going to stay down here. He thought he got clubbed on the head, but no call there. And Dent, he plays with such great patience and control.
New Mexico really wants to do more of this. Miss shot, get the rebound, push the pace up the floor. No one's going to stop Dent. No one's going to come up and take the basketball. He's going to take it all the way.
Yeah, Richard Pitino said he's like Aaron Rodgers in the pocket. Just kind of finds spots. Then all of a sudden lets the rock go. And Belich hits the floor hard. And the junior from Serbia. Transfer from UC Santa Barbara. So Sundance Wicks. This is his style of basketball. That's what he wants He says, look, it was a little difficult at first. You get guys, they want to be out running and gunning and throwing up threes. He said, so, you know, guys have to adapt to the kind of system that we want to play. And then we put on the tape and showed them, too, if we're giving teams extra possessions, that hurts us. It doesn't help us.
Well, especially when it's offensive rebounds for them or turnovers for Wyoming. I mean, you're hurting yourself. You're not going to win very many basketball games when you're letting teams take advantage in that regard.
All right, Wills gets it to Henry. Oh, nice look inside. Nesbitt, and off the front end of the rim.
Nesbitt has had a couple shot attempts tonight where he's faded away from the contact. He's strong. Be strong. Go into it. Get to the free throw line.
And Dent off the mark. How about Joseph? And the soft putback. And all of a sudden, things getting interesting quickly. The lead down to 8. It was 14 at one point. They're on a 6-0 run. Are the Lobos. They started off 4-0 in the Mountain West. The best start in the Mountain West in program history. And Henry falls out of bounds. And so it'll be the Lobos' ball.
Part of what I'm sure Wyoming talked about at halftime, too, was be ready for New Mexico to make a run. Basketball is a game of runs. You have to withstand those runs. One of the things that Coach Wicks talked about in shoot-around this morning was be fiercely competitive with a relaxed aggression. And I loved that phrase because you don't want to get too excited where you're running yourself out of the gym.
Washington. They're reaching in. Dent's going to take control. And the screen from Joseph. Dent, the crossover. Oh, finds reaching it off of the glass. This guy, it's so pretty when he's in his flow.
I mean, the shiftiness from Dent right there, gorgeous.
Yeah, Coach Patino says he's not the fastest guy on the court, but he knows how to pick his spots. And Nesbitt out of control.
You don't have to be the fastest guy on the court when you can change direction and get a defender on their toes like that.
Milicevic, we're reaching in. That's in and out, and Couch with the board. And so a different New Mexico club kick off the second half. The lead was 14. It's down to 6. Offense in the first half that ran through Nesbitt. Shot clock down to 6. Dante Allen trying to create. And Milicevic with great defense, and Tyler can't get her off. Great defense by Milicevic. And Allen couldn't get a shot off, couldn't get the rock off.
And Allen's got to be able to give that basketball up. When you give it up, trust that you will get it back. New Mexico's defense, really good pressure, good ball pressure right there. Allen just doing a little bit too much, and then you put your teammate Tynamo in a really difficult position with the shot clock at 1.
And that's Braden Applehans and C.J. Nolan in the game now. And Nolan's trying to the rack, and he draws a foul on Allen. All right, so we got the first media timeout here in the second half. Donovan Dent so smooth when he's on his game.
And a behind-the-back crossover, the handles on display, the passing on display. New Mexico.
So C.J. Nolan at the line. Other thing, too, you know, we talked about the altitude a little bit in the first half, and that may have had a bit of a factor as well. And you see earlier substitutions here in the second half for Coach Patino.
Well, I think we talked a little bit about, too, the hangover from that game that New Mexico had and getting yourself, working yourself into the game. And then you combine altitude with that. And New Mexico, they want to play at such a fast pace that it was more difficult to do that than they wanted it to be for Wyoming's defense and just because of the environment that they're in.
It took Wyoming 3+ minutes to score in the first half. And it's taken them 4:30 and counting here. And Tynamo thought about a 3, working on Joseph with footwork. Keeps that pivot foot. Shot clock down to 2. And Wills is going to have to get it up. And it's off the back of the iron. And this kind of game New Mexico loves. Dent working on Newton. Milicevic, he's off the mark. It's all right, though. Richard Patino will live with that shot. Dante Allen thought about the three. Good back door. And there's a foul on Nolan.
New Mexico's defense is playing with a little more pep in its step in the second half as well. In the gaps, I think Joseph has done a really great job of being in gaps, being up, helping guards in different situations, and then again just keeping his footing without fouling.
And Coach Patino, as you see Armstead check back in, he talked about his team being mature and teams that they're going to obviously want to slow it down against them. Thought they did a great job in the win against Colorado State. Fresno State thought they could run with them. They scored over 100 points, but he felt like this team has been rising to the occasion of what teams have wanted to do. Dent tries to save it. How about that? Knocks it off Newton, and it caroms out of bounds. And just the effort from New Mexico palpable here in the second half.
Dent, one of the top stealers in the Mountain West, knows how to anticipate. Active hands leads to good things happening. And right there, it's just, again, extra effort, extra hustle plays. And that gives a team like New Mexico, who's fighting back, energy in this game.
14-point game is now a two-possession game. How about Milicevic underneath? And he gets fouled by Scotty Abube. Abube in the game for the first time tonight.
Milicevic doing some good things for the Lobos in the second half, too. He's been aggressive in looking for his shot. Dent seems to have found him in a couple scenarios where he looks very comfortable. And again, Dent's vision, seeing Wyoming's defense late to recover and then underneath drawing that foul.
And Milicevic, four-star recruit by many, coming out of Toronto, Ontario. Represented Canada in the 2022 FIBA Under-17 World Cup in Spain. A lot of international flavor on New Mexico squad. So Wyoming as well. Great for the game of college basketball. New Mexico on a 12-0 run. It's a one-possession game. They have not led since 2-0. So we're going to find out if you're Wyoming, what do you want to do here to see if you can get control back?
Well, and Wyoming still hasn't scored in the second half, have they?
Nope. Nope.
No, they have not.
You got to put the ball in the basket. And Wills, who played 40 minutes in the last game. Great look underneath. Henry to Belich.
That offensive possession was elite execution for Wyoming. Reading the defense, reacting. You've got Newton coming off of this screen low, which allows Henry to slip, and then his defender down low has to come up and help, which leaves his teammate wide open underneath the basket. It's just great live action, read and reacting, making the right play.
And you see the tape on his right shoulder. Belich is coming back from a torn labrum. He was diagnosed over the summer, so he had to sit for a while. He started the last 5 games. And he's somebody Coach Wicks is going to depend on as we get deeper and deeper into Mountain West play. 6'7" junior.
Oh, wow, lane violation.
I don't see that often.
Not very often at all. And Belich missed both, so he'll have a chance to get the Wyoming Cowboys off of that pesky 32.
There it is. Crack the lid open.
Sometimes you need to see one go in to know it's still possible.
5:42 mark. The second half. Dent, that stop and go, just too deep in the paint.
You mentioned poise and patience with him earlier in the first half, and that is just the perfect description. Even though New Mexico plays so fast, he is so slow and so composed in what he does.
Sees the floor beautifully. Wills to Henry. Henry zips it in the corner to Newton, who was a star in the first half with 3 threes. Nolan coming back the other way. It's all Donovan Dent right now. Dent off the glass and the foul.
And to be honest, I was wondering when this was going to happen, because Donovan Dent just makes plays for this New Mexico team. The hesitation move, the getting the defender on his hip, and then this and one right here. The way that he changes his speed and keeps defenders on his toes is next level. It's one of the reasons he's so good at getting in the paint. He's so good at ball screens. He's so good at reading defenses. And I was wondering when he was going to get going in the first half, because it feels like when New Mexico needs a little boost, that responsibility falls on Dent's shoulders. In the second half, he's carried it with grace.
The 6'2" junior from Riverside, California. He played his high school ball at Centennial High School. He was John Wooden High School Player of the Year. So you know you're doing something when you win an award and John Wooden's name's on it. And Allen does a great job of drawing the foul. So if you're Wyoming, you got to get in some kind of rhythm. Going to the line helps.
It helps a lot, especially when the Lobos are full court pressing at this point. Got to be able to break that press with authority and get something out of it. Make New Mexico pay. If they're going to put all of their defenders in that front court, you should have numbers on the other side.
Allen, a 69% free throw shooter. And again, we mentioned a couple of years at Kentucky with John Calipari. Only played in 41 games because it's Kentucky. And the roster was loaded with guys who are going to end up in the NBA. So left.
I would imagine though, just being around that program.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
The things that you learn, being a sponge and absorbing greatness.
We're tied up at 35. The Lobos looking for their first lead since 2-0 way back in the first half. Dead off the mark there, and Nesbitt with the rebound.
Henry just too big inside the shot blocking threat.
By Cole Henry. And a quick correction, New Mexico was up 35-33, but they're going to have to fight back to get that lead again.
Henry making his presence known on both sides of the floor. Good screen, roll, still able to get his shot off. That's impressive through two Lobos defenders that both probably fouled him going up.
So showing a lot of strength. And the grad student, he played at Northern Iowa here in 100+ games. Season high 12 points earlier this year. And that doesn't go. All right, so we got a game here in the second half. And Wyoming finally on the board. Took them almost 6 minutes. Meanwhile, New Mexico's been on a tear. We're reaching it down to Joseph. Nice spin move. And then he finds Amstel in the corner. And it won't go. Good rebound for Jordan Nesbitt. And Wills slows it down. And he takes True Washington off the dribble. Magasa right there for the putback.
When a player like Wills can drive and get inside, draw some help side defense, sometimes a missed shot is good offense. You allow your big men to get in position to score.
The crowd trying to fire up this Cowboys club. And so now Washington's fouled. And Nesbitt, again, no Agbim, so Nesbitt has been a key contributor. Borvichevin, a little fake underneath, trying to get Joseph going. He just cannot get going here. Again, the game winner against Nevada. No time left on the clock at the pit. First buzzer beater with no time left on the clock. Had to go back some 20 years for New Mexico, and it was a buck wild scene there at the pit. It was going crazy. Shot clock down to 4. Henry trying to work on Joseph. True Washington, told you he's one of their leader in steals. Trying to create nothing there. And here's Nesbitt. Two-handed. Wyoming on a 6-0 run. And Virginia wants to talk about it. Cowboys showing a little resolve.
The game of runs. And Wyoming is coming out and running, beating New Mexico at their own game a little bit right here. Nesbitt throwing it down. Wants to hear it from the Cowboy fans. So up after that performance, and then get knocked down when New Mexico comes out and makes the run that they made. Okay, how are you going to get back up now? You love your boxing analogies.
Yeah, that's it.
They threw that first punch in the second half. What happens next?
Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And you got to recalibrate. And so that's what the Lobos have done here in Wyoming. And they're trying to keep pace. Amstel from the corner. Cannot get that to go. Great work by Belich. on the boards.
I've been really impressed with Wyoming's bigs and the way that they have positioned themselves to rebound. New Mexico very limited in their second chance opportunities.
8-0 run in the last 2:30 for the Cowboys. And trying to upset New Mexico here. Trying to see if they can recapture a little bit of what they had in the first half and move to 3-2 in the Mountain West. Yeah, that's good defense by New Mexico. So we're going to take a break here in Arena Auditorium. We got a good one with just over 10 minutes left. Wyoming up 6. And you can't help but love him. You love the energy. I mean, you love these sayings and just how he sees basketball.
He makes you want to run through a wall. Even listening to him speak about going back to Wyoming and being a part of this community, this culture that's home.
Yeah, he was here for 3 years under Jeff Linder. And they're good buddies. And so his first year here back home in Wyoming. So that loose ball is coming the other way. New Mexico has missed its last 5 shots. And so they're going to look to see if they can recapture some of the mojo they had coming out in the second half. And it's been all that man. Borvichinen. Oh, yeah. Silky smooth from the corner.
Borvichinen had only hit 1 3 until that one, but he'd gotten really good looks. So credit to him staying confident, still looking for that shot, even though they weren't falling particularly well in the first half.
Yeah, transfer from Arizona. Magassa, a couple of big dunks in the first half. 3-point Cowboy lead. Belic working on Borvichinen. Shot clock again down to 5. Oh, great backdoor pass. And look at the left hand from Magassa.
I love Magassa's motor. He just doesn't stop.
He has been great finishing around the basket. That's his 8th point of the night. Junior Joseph, oh, from behind. Nesbitt got a piece of it. And you see Joseph grabbing his arm.
Shot clock winding down here, about 6 seconds left on it. And Magassa just, again, rolling with the intent of getting a pass, being aware of what's around him, great execution. And tonight, every time he's rolled, he's expecting to get that pass and has made something out of a lot of those.
Yeah, 10 points on the night. By the way, let's keep an eye on Junior Joseph. You saw him grab his left arm there. Dent, shot clock, running out. And Nesbitt, they call the block. And so Nesbitt was able to get in front of Dent. Maybe Dent pushed off a little bit or lowered his shoulder. We haven't seen a lot of those calls this year. They've been giving the offensive player and left arm.
There's a little bit of extension there from Dent, enough to make it at least look like he was displacing that defender.
All right, so that's 6 fouls on New Mexico. Wyoming with 5.
It's so tough in those situations because when you're going full speed like that, the natural reaction when somebody is on your hip is to kind of brush them off. It's a matter of if it was incidental contact or impactful contact.
Another nice backdoor pass. Henry trying to stuff it home. And there's a foul called. And some contact at the rim.
They're going to count the basket, too. They're going to say basket interference.
And he got the step on Joseph.
What a pocket pass from Nesbitt right there. Nesbitt, excuse me.
And so Henry going strong to the rack. Take another look-see.
Foul right there. Oh. He's holding on to it, though, too, so.
Yeah. Henry had it for a hot second.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like he was coming off, though, so. And they're discussing whether that basket should count. So give Wyoming credit here. They've been able to kind of fight back and rebound, catch your breath.
Taking that first hit from New Mexico out of the locker room, you had to have known this Lobos team is too good to not fight back, to not put a second effort on the floor after the way the first half went. And now it's going to be a battle for the final 9 minutes and 16 seconds. I think we're going to go back and forth. Wyoming has got to stay composed. They've done a good job of that so far. And one of the things I also loved that Coach Wicks was talking about earlier was this idea of cultural alignment falling into place.
After review, the call's reversed. Be 2 shots for the free throws, no goaltending.
Yeah, that's a good job by the officiating crew. It's Thomas Nunez.
So
they huddled together.
It feels like this Wyoming team, even though they don't have a ton of experience together, because they're all bought in and on the same page, they're able to fight through some of these adversity moments that New Mexico is presenting to them. And New Mexico, again, they're a team that they know how good they are.
Yep.
So they're going to stay confident, stay true to themselves till the end.
Henry, the son of a basketball coach himself, his father John is a head coach at William Penn University in Oskaloosa, which is where he's from, Iowa. Disciplined player, and the lead back up to 7.
To the 12-3 run in the last 4 minutes and counting.
Good backdoor dish. Blocked by Henry. Joseph just seems a step slower tonight.
Joseph is such a big, strong player. There's no reason to leave that basketball out for Henry to even have a chance to get. Leaning into that contact, Joseph is trying to avoid that, and that's understandable, but there's no need for him to do that. Go into it, draw the contact, get the N1.
All right, let's see if Joseph can work on Henry here. Nice spin move, high off the glass, and it goes.
So much better.
The guy averages, folks, a double-double. 13 points, 10 boards. He's got 50 for his career, and he's one of 4 players active with 50 or more career double-doubles. Cowboys looking for that backdoor cut once again. Henry had a look. They love to drain the shot clock. Belich, no good. And every possession, you feel like the shot clock gets down to about 5.
Well, and credit New Mexico, too, because they're staying disciplined through the duration of that shot clock.
Borovichinen, nice rotation there. He says, come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. It's a 2-point Cowboy lead with 8+. Career high 15 points for Borovichinen. Easy for me to say.
I know. We're trying.
Allen, okay, fights through. And Joseph with the rebound. Dance. Oh, but he loses the handle. And Wells coming back the other way.
That multiple effort defensively, that pursuit from behind. Wyoming, good job not giving up on the play.
Belich on Dent. He's got size. Loses it. All right, Borovichinen is trying to be the spark plug for his team.
Yeah, Borovichinen seeing a couple threes and go in. Draws the defense in, Dent does on that dribble penetration, and then Borovichinen knocking it down, him hanging on at 69. Just such a competitive conference. Yep. We're seeing it tonight. Anybody can win on any given night.
Can't take it for granted. Utah State, they're tied atop the Mountain West with this New Mexico Lobos club. Shot clock again down to 5. Wills is going to have to let it go. Trying to create. Got the taller Joseph on him and misses everything. So shot clock violation. Good defense. Great matchup.
Big difference in this second half too has been the shooting for Wyoming. In the first half, 5 of 11 from 3. Second, 0 for 5. So New Mexico doing a better job defensively.
C.J. Nolan back in the game. And Dent just throws it away. Looking for Nolan on the wing.
It's the right look. It's the right look. It's just not executed at the standard that you want it to be. Not on the same page right there. Newton being the, sorry, not Newton.
A little too much juice on that pass from Dent.
Nolan was who I was thinking of. I'm sorry.
Nesbitt over to Belich. Newton had the hot hand in the first half. Cooled off here. Allen. Oh, great look! But Henry can't finish. And one and a foul. Borovichinen comes back the other way, and it's C.J. Nolan. He's off the mark. And he's like, what do I got to do to get a whistle? You see him shaking his head on his way back down the court. It's a tight one here, Wyoming by 2.
Well, and notice after 2 really quick possessions, Wyoming very slow getting into their offensive action here.
Nesbitt just working one-on-one on Nolan, trying to create. Good board, and it counts. Matija Belic with the putback. Cowboys showing some fight.
Extra efforts that make all the difference. Nesbitt driving in, tries to go up and under, and Belic sneaking in from behind right there, giving his team an extra opportunity, and that's just great heads-up awareness, not staying in between, either getting back or crashing the glass.
And so Belic trying to make it a 5-point game. And so that's off the rim. And again, if you ask Sundance Wicks beginning of the game, would you take this up 4 with just under 6 left? He'd say absolutely. I'm sealed. Joseph, big body inside, but he couldn't corral it.
Sundance Wicks did say he'd retire if they scored if it was a 50-point game.
That's right. We might have to remind him of that afterwards. Somehow I think he'd come up with, oh, they call steps on Allen. Officials have been doing a pretty good job of letting these guys play. We've seen some questionable feet shuffling, but that time a little bit too much from Allen. Wicks, he is an animated character. Patino's been real relaxed. He's showing the poise of a coach who's been there before.
He was a little generous. In the first half, he wasn't super relaxed. He was trying to fire his team.
Okay, I like that. Joseph spinning and winning. Nicely done.
Getting to his spots. I think Joseph is recognizing right now that this is when his team needs him most. Even though he hasn't been super efficient in this game, the ones you need to make, they're right now, young fella.
And Nesbitt is able to draw the foul. Drew Washington, just good footwork down underneath.
And really good positioning. You do your work early, you get the basketball in a place where you have the right angles to be able to use your footwork, work around your defender, and kiss off the glass inside.
Yeah, preseason all Mountain West, both Joseph and Dent, and living up to the top billing. And of course hit that buzzer beater that Katie talked about against Nevada. And a 1-point victory at the pit.
It really was pandemonium too. Just chaos, mass chaos in overtime. It was like turnovers to another turnover to another turnover to that shot attempt.
Yeah, Patino, we said, hey, look, you know, it's different playing at the pit. You know, those fans expect a lot out of you.
They sure do.
It's one of the great venues, not in college basketball, not in basketball, but all of sports. It's one of the great venues to watch a sporting event, and it goes up there with all the greats. And Nesbitt. All right, so that doesn't go. It's a 3-point lead. Tell you what, Wyoming may be looking back at some of this free throw shooting.
Yep.
Dent in the corner. Washington. And they'll slow it down for the Cowboys. Washington going for the steal. Allen spots up, steps into a 3, it won't go. Joseph another board, he's heated up here. Second half, 4:30 left, and it's a 3-point Wyoming lead. Look at Dent, underneath to Joseph. He got Nesbitt on his hip, and then laid out the beautiful pass.
Took the words right out of my mouth. The patience from Dent in drawing up that play and manipulating the defense to get his teammate exactly where he wanted him to be.
It's a 1-point game with 4 minutes left at Arena Auditorium here in Laramie, Wyoming. Toko Tynamo. Look at Dent Sky for the board. Lobos can take the lead. Washington. It's Dent. Oh, tried to shake Nesbitt, and Nesbitt's going to be called for the foul. This kid can do it all.
The dribble penetration, and when Dent gets into the paint, that's when he's most dangerous. Gets the defender on his hip, so the help has to stay. Finds his teammate, Joseph, underneath. Mexico now within one.
Yeah.
The Lobos have gotten back into this game, so a little give, a little take with the keys, and we're all tied up.
And Dent wasn't really much of a factor in the first half, but he certainly has been in the second half. Hangs in the air long enough and then uses the glass. This guy is special. New Mexico up 1, 3:30 left. Are we in for another buzzer beater? Belic. Oh, right hand, tried a little hook there. And the refs are conferring, officials, and they say it's a New Mexico ball.
Here's this last Dent bucket right here, and a little confusion on the Cowboys in terms of their defensive coverages right there. Dent taking full advantage.
I mean, dare I say it, kind of like Jordan-esque, the way he was able to hang there for a while. A little bit too much on the key. Washington down to Joseph, working on Henry, just backs him down. Bucket and the foul. Nelly Jr. Joseph showing up in the big moments.
Yeah, Joseph coming alive here late in this second half. So tough, so strong, and using it right here. Battling down low with Henry. They've got Joseph in really good post-up scenarios here in this second half. And then just let him go to work. If you're not going to send a double team and make him kick it out of that, he's going to take it right to you.
And Joseph with another double-double. His 51st of his career, 8th on the year. Quietly gets it done. As Allen is going to take a quick seat. And Abu Magassa is going to come in. He's been electric for Wyoming. It's a 4-point Cowboys lead. And we're inside of 3 minutes. Can Kobe Newton get hot again? Newton, tried to lay it up. Here comes True Washington. Milicevic. Saucy from Jovan Milicevic. A 3-pointer, New Mexico on a 10-0 run. And Sundance wants to talk about it.
Milicevic knew exactly what was developing in that transition play. You see him put his hands up right there. He is down. He is ready to shoot. Wyoming is scrambling defensively, trying to match up. Unable to. And again, it's Dent setting the pace.
I was just about to say, live it up.
Waiting
his top billing.
Waiting for his trailers to come back and catch up in transition.
Just a ho-hum day for Dent. 18 points, 6 assists. As he continues.
There is this unwavering belief in yourself and in each other and in the system that you've built.
7-point lead, largest of the night for New Mexico. Borvicevic, he's got a career-high 10 rebounds as well. So the 15 and the 10, put it in the books. Nesbitt trying to create, dumps it off to Henry. Nice shot. So Cole Henry fights through traffic. 2 minutes left, it's a 5-point game.
Nesbitt absolutely thread the needle on that pass, too. That was such a difficult driving left, pass back right.
Crowd getting into it. And trying to get the Cowboys fired up. And Dent, now it's his turn to slow it down. Setting up the pick and roll, Dent and Joseph. Dent with the left hand, and he was so quick to get that up. Oh, he's down, he's hurt. So Donovan Dent, and he's grabbing his side. Went down hard there. And Dent still grabbing his right hip. Hit the floor hard there.
When you bring the basketball across your body like that, and he did it in such quick time, to your point, Fran, the contact was on the body. It wasn't on the shot going up.
And so that is his 19th point of the night. And Richard Pitino talked about he liked the maturity of his club, how they handle adversity. They're used to getting out and running, scoring close to 90 points a game on this 5-game winning streak. They've averaged over 90. And that, look, teams are going to try to slow it down. And how are we going to handle that? We have to play well, not just when we're running and gunning, but when we have to play in our half-court sets. And so they fought through. They were down by 14, but they're up by 7 with a $1:20 left. And that's going to be on Dent underneath. And that's a mark, really. You know, it's great to win the high-powered games and the high-scoring games, what we saw against Nevada. But, man, the dogfights, the rock fights, those are actually, it shows you a little bit more character sometimes about the team as well.
For sure, and I think with this New Mexico team in particular, if they do end up pulling out this win, this is something that could give them even more confidence. Like, yes, we can win when teams are trying to outscore us, but we can also win in these situations where it is a grinded-out type victory, and we're down and we have to battle our way back. And this would be a win that they would be able to look back on and use moving forward.
And great fight from the Cowboys here, because again, no Obi Agnew, their top player offensively, averaged close to 20 points a game. He's got a bum ankle, so this is the second consecutive game that he's missed.
Gotta get a stop here.
And yet here they are. We got a minute left in Arena Auditorium. It is the Donovan Dent Show. True Washington. Henry battles and gets the board. Okay, surprised Wyoming didn't foul there.
No, 2-possession game.
Nesbitt hard to the bat, and it doesn't go. Washington with the board, and now
you got it.
35 seconds left, got a foul, and Dent's going to hold on to it. And he's going to go to the line, so Donovan Dent has taken over here in the second half. He's a 75% free throw shooter, but more importantly, and much to the chagrin of Sundance Wicks, this guy he's the real deal. And he is a money player, and with the game on the line, he set the tone in the second half. And New Mexico looks like it's going to get out of here with its 6th consecutive victory.
What a victory to be able to hang your hat on, too. Again, this is such an uncharacteristic style of winning for New Mexico. To be able to prove, hey, we can do it when we score 100+ points, or we can do it against a team like Wyoming, which gave New Mexico a really solid effort in terms of, we're going to make this as difficult as possible for you.
And this is just what Wyoming wanted to do, and they pulled it off. I mean, New Mexico has 59 points. All right, 7 points here, 30 seconds left. Allen is going to have to get it up quick. And New Mexico turned it on here in the second half, outscoring Wyoming 41-20 in the second half. And that's what good teams do. There's Dante Allen, 27 seconds left, so all right, cuts it down to 6. Not done yet.
27 seconds is a lot of time.
Yep.
A lot of time.
Well, they shoot 69% from threes in their last victory against Air Force.
Sure did.
All right, so that's going to bonus, the double bonus. So Jones is going to get a couple of shots, and he's a 66% free throw shooter. So, but he's done a nice job in the second half as well. And fought into his 8th double-double of the year. There's a shot of Obi, who did not play tonight. You got to be cautious, and Sundance told us, he came in and apologized for not being 100%. He's not never want to play or apologize. It's not your fault, you're hurt. So I don't need to. Don't worry about apologizing.
I think you mentioned this earlier too, Fran. Wyoming 10 of 17 from the free throw line, so they've missed 7 free throws. Yep. You're down by 6 at this point of the game, and I mean,
could have changed the
we're
flow.
not expecting perfection, but that 7 missed free throws is a lot.
So Cole Henry has put together a valiant effort. He's going to take a seat on the bench. He fouls out. Dynamo comes in, but the Wicks stay with a hot hand, and Henry played really hard. 10 points, 5 boards, but that stat line doesn't really explain the effort that we saw from Henry. He just missed a lot of shots down low, but he took it down amongst the trees. And Joseph, these guys are tough. They're balanced scoring.
Henry just has this big physical presence about him too that is so beneficial to what the Cowboys are trying to do out there. Can't have that happen though if you want to give yourself a chance late in this game.
Borovicinen. And New Mexico's got a big game coming up. You can see it here on CBS on Saturday against San Diego State. Spiro Ditas and Bill Raftery on the call there. And we'll see him back here on CBS Sports Network on January 20th against Fresno State. So Mountain West is thick. A lot of good teams. Utah State off to a good start. Boise State off to a good start. Joseph in way early there.
Another lane violation?
Yeah, Joseph was in way early there. And Patino coaching to the end. 8-point lead, largest of the night for the Lobos. Well, they got a scare. They scored just 18 in the first half. But then they got it together as Newton lets it go. They got it together in the second half, and they doubled up Wyoming. But again, a great effort from Wyoming without their top scorer. And so the Lobos, they're going to improve to 13-3. And they are now 5-0 in the Mountain West. That is their best start ever.